Ladies and gentlemen, I am StooDogg. Without further ado, let's get on to Jared Wars responding to one of his own videos. Oh boy, this is going to be as fun as it sounds.
Welcome to another Jared Wars, Piss4400 corporate company.
Yay!
Today we're going to I don't want to say embarrass myself, but there were some points raised by StooDogg that I might have gone a little off the handle in this trailer video.
And for some reason, rather than just leaving the whole matter alone, leaving me alone like I asked, you've decided to go and do a reaction video to one of your own videos, which is going to be as fucking exciting as it sounds, because you're basically just going to spend the whole video literally sucking your own dick.
And so we're going to investigate this 16 minutes and 21 or 15 seconds video.
Ladies and gentlemen, quite a lot of it is irrelevant pish. So we'll cut that out. We'll cut out the bits that aren't interesting, the bits that aren't entertaining, and we'll just focus on the bits that are interesting to us, the bits that can be crafted into a fair use video. Onwards.
Entitled The Spectators of YouTube. Now, if there is some things that I'm seeing that is out of hand that I didn't realize that I've said, because there's a lot of videos I've done and it's mostly contained to talking to myself and shit. I disable comments because it's like,
so you can disable criticism against you.
The people that I deal with on the internet are impossible.
I think it's more that Jared Wars is the impossible one. And the symptoms of that problem is that he finds it difficult to deal with other people. He is a man who confesses himself that he has issues with social interaction. He is a socially inept misfit.
And, you know, most people will say, well, you don't like criticism. Yeah, I like criticism. I mean, I put up about 5 hours of criticism listening to this guy, Stu.
He really didn't, though. He literally ignored my video and just talked and talked and talked about pish, bleating on about school and bleating on about his mum.
The difference between people like him and other folks is that they do other things besides that. I mean, I always said this and I'll say it again, you don't have to like me. We can both hate each other and still have the neutral respect to agree to disagree.
You cannot apply an agree to disagree statement where you are going onto YouTube, a social media platform with an average of 3.2 billion people using it per month. You cannot apply that agree to disagree when you are slandering someone libelously on a platform like that. It has been shown that virality, a video can go absolutely viral for any number of reasons. I recently came across a young lady who made a video that was almost exactly the same as a Jared Wars video. She got 4 million views. She released this video when she had 10 subscribers. She now has 90,000 subscribers. Now imagine that was Jared Wars slandering someone that had went viral like that.
You know, so, I mean, there is a such thing as that. Politicians go through this all the time, many people.
The thing with politicians, Jared Wars, is that they have open avenues where they can be criticised. As stated, you disable and block your comment sections, preventing any form of conversation or communication regarding you or your videos.
So this is my own video. Surprisingly, I was hoping to have a good 10 thumbs down, but I've had an extra thumbs down.
I'm surprised you haven't disabled the thumbs on your video, Jared Wars. Strikes me as the sort of thing that you'd do.
11. Amazing. 91 viewers.
That's quite a respectable view count for that video, Jared Wars.
So we're going to review this video in its entirety.
Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for stupidity to commence.
So I'm going to continue this with the black screen. Welcome, you...
Ladies and gentlemen, the third word into his video is racial slurs.
To a goddamn motherfucking show of Jared Wars, Piss4400 Inc. Company. copyrighted.
Ladies and gentlemen, this segment is quite irrelevant. He goes on about having a premonition, but says that at the start of it, he doesn't know what he prophesized was going to happen until after it happened. So it's not really a premonition. It's like me saying, I think stuff will happen in the future. He's been kind of dumb, as usual. Ladies and gentlemen,
Listen to the Lord God, not to me, but the penis man who made my penis and made everything else. Jesus' penis, it rhymes. And so, my authority, if I'm right, I can't say that I'm right, but what I always try to say is, if this is God, I give the glory to God. That's my heart. God knows my heart. I give the glory to the motherfucker God, you know?
So if Jared Wars is this sort of false prophet that he claims that he is, and that if his prophecies do come to pass, even though he doesn't know what the prophecies are, because he's just pulling them out of his arse, God's the one who should get the credit for it. As if Jared Wars thinks that he's some kind of modern day Jesus Christ.
And if I'm right, like I said, it will be in your ass.
Eloquent.
That it will, it'll be sticking up in you real hard and fucked up.
Such a fucking vile, disgusting man, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next segment, Jared Wars goes on and on and on without knowing the power of brevity to tell us that he is impersonating and pretending to be Stetson Hardwick. He's pretending and parodying a man who believes that age does not exist and that pedophilia is just fine. That's the sort of people that Jared Wars wants to pretend to be to train his mind. Now that's worrying.
Yeah, I was just trying to practice how to talk like Stinson. I did this once, and looking at Stu's comment section and looking at StooDogg, I couldn't believe that people took me seriously. Like, did you really think that I was serious when I called everybody conservative that disagree with me? You stupid fuck. I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all stupid fucks because Jared Wars is absolutely useless and rubbish at doing parodies and has a shit sense of humour. Of course, he deflects. It's not his fault for a thing, it's everyone else's fault for not understanding him. His standard arrogance and condescending abrasiveness on display here.
Either I must have been a good actor or you're just ignorant.
Again, with the arrogance, he presumes that either he's good at something or everyone else is bad at something. He doesn't consider the option that he is fucking dog shit at making parodies and that his sense of humour is like a wet fucking sock drowned at the bottom of the sea in concrete shoes. It's either everyone else's fault or he's really good at something because he's a condescending, arrogant fool.
And I'm not saying this out of insult.
Yes, you are. Every time you insult someone, you always say, I'm not saying this out of insult. It's like you're using that as a sort of get out of jail mechanism. You're using that as a sort of innocence plot device every time that you talk. Every time you insult someone, you say that you're not insulting them. That's not an acceptable form of disclaimer to put after insults every time you insult someone. And we've seen this so many times that we see through it. Whenever you say that, Jared Wars, it means nothing. The best way that you can mean something as not an insult would be to not insult people. Think about what you're saying before you say it, or use editing to cut out anything that you don't want to have in your video.
But I kind of found that amusing. Lord have mercy. But the thing about it is, is that this is the truth. You people don't understand it. You don't understand if this is real or not. And you people have mocked it. Like, this one thing I will say, though some points I made on just now are good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jared Wars being a condescending, arrogant prick, whilst reacting to himself being a condescending, arrogant prick. Jesus fucking Christ. The sheer pompousness of this whole thing is absolutely sickening.
But it's just, even if these people are shown to be wrong or shown to be right, they don't care. As far as internet people, they never cared. The only thing they care about is what they feel like and what they want, or something that happens to their friends or to their families.
Internet people have no sensitivity towards Jared Wars, because Jared Wars is a man who has engaged in concentrated, long-lasting harassment campaigns against people, yet he sits there and expects sympathy because his harassment campaigns have blown up in his face. He wants people to feel sympathy for him because he goes out there and trolls other people and it doesn't end well for him.
I mean, if it's not to them, they don't give a fuck. That's as simple as that.
Jared Wars, you're like a bank robber that wants people to feel sorry for him because he got caught. Ladies and gentlemen, the next part of this video is a bit odd, but I felt it was important to leave it in because it's where Jared Wars goes on about his channel not being a religious channel, even though it is, whatever. But he goes on about God having some kind of investment in Jared Alpha Genesis. I think this is an interesting example of Jared Wars, Piss4400's delusional nature, and should be left in the video and we could have a look over it and study it together.
It's not so much you mock God visually, you mock God hypothetically, because you don't really know. Yeah, like the time that people think that this is a religious channel, and God and I know this has nothing to do with him.
Despite the fact that you talk about the Bible on quite a regular basis, and you pray to God and you talk about God extremely often on your channel.
Except this one premonition from 2017. The rest of it is just a platform itself, you know? I mean, God doesn't give a fuck about the name Jared Wars or its video. He thinks the same way as most of you people. The most he gives a damn about that matters to him is this premonition regarding Jared.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wars, Piss4400, appears to be in direct contact, a conduit to God himself, and God is invested in the Jared Alpha Genesis being a dick on the internet saga.
Okay.
All the slander, the harassment, it's going to come back at you. It's all going to be in your fucked up ass. Now, for those people that are listening to this, it was meant to be for those people that were doing that stuff. And I mean that just those people alone. You know who you are.
Jared Wars, hypocrite. Jared Wars is the biggest slanderer, biggest harasser, and biggest stalker of them all. A modern internet terror in and of itself, ladies and gentlemen.
It is not me, but the spirit the fuck in me, goddammit. It all lives in me. I have to admit, I did sound like a little bit angry and arrogant, and I think I was angry in this video, but again, you know, motherfucker, I did come off strong to people.
Ladies and gentlemen, a rare occasion where Jared Wars notices his own sheer arrogance.
Now, if I'm wrong, then the motherfucking spirit is not in me, and I don't have to repent and get forgiven. What I meant was I have to repent and get, forgiven. I said it the other way around by accident, not realizing it.
And again, with the condescending arrogance, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wars doesn't give a damn about his victims, about the people that he stalks and harasses. He thinks that he only needs to apologise to God for causing sheer misery and hardship for people online. Fucking wow, man.
But I have a strong feeling.
Me too, it's like fucking heartburn or nausea or something.
Because of all this results that's motherfucking happening, that I motherfucking might actually be right, motherfucking, you know?
Motherfucking.
It ain't no the fuck way that the fuck I be unright. But then again, I'm open. I'm an open-minded motherfucker. I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be reviewing my own shit just now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wars lying to himself. He is in no way open-minded at all. You try to talk to this man, and it's like talking to a brick wall. His own experiences, his own things, are more important than anything that anyone else has to say about the way that he's acting. If you say, stop being a stalking, harassing, creepy cunt, his response is, well, I didn't get no education, and way back at school this happened, and then my mom said this.
Like these people who are not open-minded that will assume something the first thing they see. This is common to people who do, from my studies of social interaction, if a person does so many times before, then they'll think they'll do it again, yada, yada, yada. So if a person goes and leaves pee on a stall and then does it so many times, and let's just say one particular day he didn't do it and stuff, and women that may live in the same house may assume that he did, even though really someone else did, because of what they're used to. See, it's not good to make assumptions on things, and it's not good to tell lies, and it's not good to sit there and slander people deliberately because of these results.
It's really odd that Jared Wars says this, but it's another case of Jared Wars saying one thing, but doing another. He is a man who's always lying and always slandering other people and not showing any evidence to back up the his claims, his accusations, his allegations. That's another word that he uses. The thing is, without showing anything on the screen to back up what he's saying, it then makes it slander.
Of what I'm explaining, hypothetical, in terms of assumptions. People make assumptions too much. I would say if you're going to make assumptions, do it in a way that is of safety, but not in a way that is something. What I meant of safety is do it in a way that is that if you're not sure of something, just give a disclaimer that is alleged.
Jared Wars, you can't put a disclaimer on slander.
Or I'm not sure, but this is my opinion or alleged estimate, you know?
When it comes to the mad stuff you come out with, it's probably better off for you to just say and do nothing. Because as we've seen, it only ends badly for you.
That would annoy the fuck out of a person, and then the only thing that person gets out of you is assumptions, where you want to punch the living hell out of them or murder them and go to prison for the rest of your life to avoid the insanity of your own life.
That escalated quickly, but I think it also shows a selfishness on his part. He's not thinking about... He's thinking, yeah, this stuff happens to me, it's bad, but he's not thinking about other people might feel bad as well when he commits these things against them.
And what I was just saying out of my over-exaggerated anger was, when you ever had assumptions about a person, and then the other person that you have assumptions to get annoyed so much that they lose their temper or they just lose their shit, you know? Because it is annoying for people to have assumptions about you. It is annoying. It's just as simple as that.
Annoyed when a random small YouTuber that has a substantial following and gets quite a lot of views because he live streams all the time. Annoyed when someone like that starts slandering my name, calling me a fucked up person, calling all my friends fucked up people, and saying that I'm involved in fucked up shit. Knowing fine well how viral a platform like YouTube is, and knowing that the small YouTuber saying these things could get millions of views overnight just by random sheer luck.
Anyway, that's how people are. A lot of times, people are very cruel. My mother told me something when I was little, that adults are just as terrible as children. I thought my mother also told me that people that were in my age group that are normal are just as bad as people that are not normal. And I didn't believe it. I thought they were my mother and other people that said this was full of shit.
This is a personality trait of Piss4400, Jared Wars. He thinks that everyone else that isn't him is full of shit. If anyone tries to give him advice or any kind of helpful tips, he will dismiss them out of hand. He will abuse them verbally. He'll say that he's not insulting them when he chucks out insults at them, calling them stupid, idiots, racial slurs, and saying things about their sexuality, their weight, or their race, or their age. He'll come out with those sort of things against anyone who tries to offer him advice. Much like the way that he did that to me and several of my friends who offered him advice.
And I found out over 20 years, or over a decade later, way over a decade later, that I was the fuck, but my mother was not bullshitting. Because of her experiences in life, I'm learning and seeing on YouTube the very thing that she said those years ago. Holy shit. You find everything on the internet, just about. Thought it was bullshit. Even points that your parents made years ago, and you find out that they're right through the internet.
I think this also goes into the sort of pride aspect that Jared Wars, Piss4400, believes that he is the one who is right all of the time. And I think it shows there that his mum tried to tell him something and he dismissed it out of hand because he is the one who is always right, because he is arrogant and seems to have grown up with that arrogance as a part of his personality.
But I found out the fuck later it wasn't. Here are these grown ass people so I see on motherfucking internet, motherfucker, and they're not even, they're so illiterate. You go on the forums, you find out a question about something, they give you answers that got not a goddamn thing to do with nothing, and they just be talking. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They should shut the fuck up.
The thing is, Jared Wars' engagements in forums, much like his engagements on YouTube, are laced with profanity and racial slurs. Now, in a YouTube video, it's, if you're watching a video, he just comes out with these things. On a forum, though, a forum moderator has every right to delete, block, and ban him for his poor use of his free speech. That is a consequence. Yes, you're entitled to free speech, but people don't have to fucking listen to you being a dick.
You go to the grocery store, go to the store, you ask them. And what that meant was that a lot of people, when you post questions on forums, they post a lot of answers, and a lot of them don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They just put in stuff just to make themselves look good.
And if you're going there knowing nothing, what entitles you to have that arrogance, that condescending bell-endness, to think that what someone else is posting on a forum about a thing that you don't know about a thing that you've came to get advice upon, what entitles you to the right to think that they're not giving you advice? This would be like me going to, say, a brain surgeon forum and asking for advice about brain surgery, me not knowing anything about it, and calling a doctor or a professor a disingenuous fool. because I didn't believe what they were saying to me about brain surgery? What is the basis of your arrogance here? You say that you went there pretty much knowing nothing. You went to a forum knowing nothing, and you think that these people are saying things like that to you. That is paranoia. Arrogant, pretentious paranoia.
Or to make themselves trying to feel like they help someone when really they don't know the answer to something. They're just making guesses based on researches on the internet.
To say things like that, to say that people in forums that you go to for advice, that they are lying based upon, you have nothing to base that upon because you do not have the knowledge in the first place. That's why you went to the forum, because you're seeking the knowledge. I think that where you're doing the disservice to yourself is that you're going there with that arrogance, with that pretentiousness, and then you're probably launching off into tirades and attacks on them in the forums, and then you're getting blocked and banned because you're being a dick. That's what I think is happening. And now you're looking for a way to continue to attack them after you've been banned. So you're saying that all of the people in these forums are disingenuous.
But the true way is this: if you don't know something, just don't say nothing. It's simple. That is very simple.
I could say the same thing to you, Jared Wars. You sit there trying to give advice to people, trying to tell people how to raise their kids. You have no experience in this matter. In fact, I would move to say that as a person growing up, you could very possibly be viewed as a failure. I don't think you have any right to offer any advice to people on how to raise their children.
And that was one thing I noticed when I used to be on the forums community with putting postings about soldering and different things like that on websites.
Again, I think this comes down to that as a newbie, as a beginner, as a person at the very bottom of the ladder, and then a master engineer gives you advice, just fucking listen to him and take the advice.
With something in, they say aisle 3, or I'm not sure, maybe in this aisle. I'm like, if you even in the grocery stores, they got this fucking problem. Like, if I ask someone where something is, and they'll say, well, maybe it's in this aisle and that aisle. I'm like, if you don't know, just say you don't know.
Grocery stores have systems. They have floor plans, specially made up to prevent cross-contamination of food and chemical and raw product and chilled product. If you ask a person in a store where something is, they'll know the general direction, they'll know the general area of the store that thing will be kept in. Again, don't make this shit up out of your arse. A person in a store would know where a thing is. You're saying this in front of a person who comes from a background working in stores.
Instead of just talking about it could be in this and that, the person that doesn't know, they would say, I'm not sure, I don't know. That's the most honest thing, instead of deliberately giving a person information that will waste their fucking time.
I really think you're talking out your arse here, Jared Wars. People aren't deliberately going out of their way to mislead you in your day-to-day life. Again, this comes down to a form of paranoia. Something else, which is a symptom of an addiction to substances, perhaps alcohol or drugs.
Not sure, just say I'm not fucking sure. Now, I was angry at this video. I could see that. Ow.
I feel sorry for the poor person in a store when you ask him, excuse me, where is the milk? And he doesn't know. And then you start ranting and shouting and swearing at him because you're an unhinged lunatic.
That's the illiteracy of you motherfuckers today. Now, I'm preaching. Or speaking. Actually, I was angry. I was saying preaching so my mom wouldn't say nothing, but I actually was angry because I got like this whole internet thing with Jared Wars had became very frustrating within the last several months.
Jared Wars, a man who claims that he does not take the internet too seriously. Taking the internet too seriously.
So it's a very frustrating channel to manage and to deal with. It is. It's a very temperamental channel. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to, so this is not even preaching. Just so y'all know, I was full of shit.
Jared Wars, the man who claims to always tell the truth and always say things like they are, admitting to lying to his mum. He said he was full of shit. Well, I think he always is, to be honest.
Know something to know it. If you don't know, then you say you don't know. I've had done some preaching before, but this is not preaching. This is just me expressing my anger towards the way this channel is. That's all it is.
That's you expressing your anger towards the internet. The thing that you don't take too seriously.
No, just don't be going around in circles with motherfuckers, you know? Everybody has the right to be able to speak up their minds, no matter how disgusted or disgusting the subject matter is.
Theoretically, he's correct. However, as we've covered before, consequences of saying things like that. If someone says something extremely vile, extremely disgusting, much in the way that he says vile and disgusting things, they could be thought of as a fool, they could be blocked, they could be banned. Just because you have the right to say something, other people don't have to listen to and put up with your shit.
No matter how unbelievable it is, you don't find yourself in a fucking courtroom. Oh, this was the point I was going to mention.
Jared Wars, Piss4400, as a person, has an interest in legal proceedings, specifically in a judge. I think she's based in his certain jurisdiction, but he has studied her career and some of her cases. This is something that could be an interesting topic for his channel if he chose to cover some of the things that this person came out with, rather than doing his reaction formats. But this is a part of his content which is actually genuinely interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, because Jared Wars is a toxic, caustic troll, if he heard me saying that, he'd probably explode in anger and be like, "You're full of shit, saying that I've got good content. I'm not being insulting, but you're a fucking idiot, you fucking stupid moron, fucker." Add in a few racial slurs and you've probably got the basis of what he'd say.
On some of the people that did video reviews of Stinson and how biased they are when they put, like, the whole time when you listen to Gage the Gadoom guy, it's all about, well, I disagree with this, instead of hearing what the person that you're interviewing have to say. There's other guy by the name of
I don't think Jared Wars is in any position to tell anyone how to run their channels.
Thrash Metal Guru. The very first time that him and Stinson ever was, on the internet, Stinson Hartwick wasn't even given a chance to speak. The whole time he heard this Thrash Metal Guru just speaking his opinion, but isn't the interviewer's job to hear the other side? And then if you want to give a closing statement on an opinion, then you do that after all is done.
I guess he kind of has a point.
That's the professional way of doing it. When you interview somebody, it's like a camera recording or a recorder recording whatever the person does. So it's not you that makes the show, it's that person that you invited to be interviewed that makes that show by the things that they say, no matter how ridiculous or sick that it is, and the stuff that they do and believe.
That all depends on the mission statement of the video. E.g., It's up to the actual person who owns the channel how they want to conduct their business. Much like that time that you were saying that you wanted to talk to me, you wanted to have a communication with me, and then when I went to talk to you, you then told me to fuck off, go fuck yourself, and you blocked me. You lured me there with deception.
Or a judge or the bailiff going crazy want to fight the murderers of children. So I made example of the courtroom and how the judge doesn't act like some of these people on the internet.
That's a totally weird, rubbish, and random example of it. These YouTube commentators, they're not really judges. I mean, look at people like Alec Jones of InfoWars, for example. He is very loud, very outlandish, a very odd person. That's basically YouTube commentators in a nutshell. Judges are very calm, sedate. Yes, judges can have a lot of personality, e.g., the Star Trek case, for example, the Star Trek opinion that a judge wrote regarding a copyright case. But generally in the courtroom, they are very somber. YouTube commentators are a total different breed of animal.
Yes, they have feelings and disagreements and they detest the behaviors of the convicts, but they not gonna just do the way these people on the internet do, like the Gage the Doom guys and the thrash metal gurus or the Zack the Critic people, kinds of personality performances and clicks.
Yes, because a YouTube commentator and a judge are two totally different things, two totally different careers. Anyone could be a YouTube commentator, but to be a judge, you have to go through years of education, followed by years of being a barrister. And then in your later life, you might have a chance of being a judge.
Or rapists of children. There is a decorum that has to be set forth. Granted, there may not be much respect to the other side, but their decorum has to be done in order to do what's called due process.
As stated, it's ultimately up to the YouTuber whether they want to have due process against someone or not, whether they want to listen to the other person's things that they have to say. E.g., right now, I'm listening to most of the things that you have to say and responding in a fair use format. If I wanted to, I could have just foregone your video altogether and just sat here for 5 minutes calling you an idiot and not showing anything from your video. But that's not what I chose to do. My video, my rules.
Which I was referring to due process by how the law works as far as how they handle cases, whether they're criminal cases or non-criminal cases or civil cases. It's called due process. There are rules that that don't allow judge to be biased as far as what a person, how they feel about a person, character or their actions. The reason why the judges get sworn by oath is to not practice those biased characters that they have of criminals in the courtroom, because their job is to do the professional job, and that is to be the judge and be neutral on both sides, even if there's one side that you detest and despise. Now, there's some judges, when they're done with everything in the court proceeding, they will say an opinion to the defendant or the families of the of victims. Simple. I mean, judges have a right to their opinion, but we'll never find a judge acting the way Gage acts and other people acts regarding Stinson Hardwick. And I'm not speaking for Stinson. I'm not on Stinson's side.
Ladies and gentlemen, he put together a very coherent sentence there, a very coherent paragraph about how the inside of a courtroom works. And that, I think, should be realised. Jared Wars actually did something competently and did it pretty well. Full stop. No buts, no extra shit said after that. Move on to the next topic. Move on to the next thing that I have to say, which is that these YouTube commentators that he talks about, they're not judges though. They're YouTubers. How they do their channel is up to them. But no, I do feel that if he had made a video just exclusively about sort of judges and courtrooms and stuff like that, maybe thrown in like a wee sort of case, just something out of interest there, like an interesting legal case. If he'd have thrown in an interesting legal case or something there to go along with what he was saying about the courts, and maybe put some information on the screen like the court records, the PACER records or something like that, then that could have made, this could have been the blueprint, the foundation for a very competent video from Jared Wars. Unfortunately, what we're looking at is a very small gem of good stuff in what is from him reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the guy can't do reaction videos. Why does he keep doing reaction videos? He's obviously a bit smarter than we keep saying, but ultimately where he fails is in common sense and doing fucking stupid things. Rather than doing sensible things and smart things, he goes off and does mental, mad, crazy, stalkery reaction videos.
I'm just speaking as far as facts from what I've seen, as far as performance.
And whilst being a little bit misguided, I do think you do raise some competent points. But I think you're assigning a job title to a person who is running a YouTube channel. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that you're misguided. The people that you're talking about, they have their personalities, they have their shows, they have their blueprints for how they do things, and that is how they do their things. Trying to assign a blueprint like they should be a judge on them is misguided.
That's how the fuck our system works. You get people who interview folks on YouTube. Everything is personal. I take it personal. I take that personal. Well, you know what? You don't need to interview nobody if you don't take it personal.
That's up to the YouTuber, Jared Wars. If they want to interview people, they can interview people. I myself have approached someone to interview them, and I've submitted a series of questions to that person, and at such a time that we move forward to do the interview, we'll just sit down and do it.
I'm not just speaking upon the things I've seen of Stetson. I speak solely upon just anybody who has just a biased attitude towards a person of what they done, what they said, what they done in the past. Pretty much. That's what they believe in. When you're at best interviewer, you're supposed to be like the camera. Just record the fucking answers to your questions.
As stated, it's up to the YouTuber.
And move the fuck on with. And I actually was thinking about interviewing Stetson when I get my shit together.
Fucking do it. Fucking go for it. What's holding you back? Be better content than your reaction rubbish.
And I want to hear his side, his point of views, no matter how much I disagree with them, no matter how much I'm going to find strange of it. It's the job of the interviewer to be like the cameraman. Just stand there and be quiet and ask the questions according to what you have written down.
That sounds like a competent blueprint for your interview, for your questioning of him.
So, a lot of people when they interview folks on YouTube, they don't have nothing written down. They write what they feel, and it's more on a personal level than on a professional level.
And I think what you've just said there is quite an important thing that you should reflect on and think about because it highlights a weakness in your own content. You don't write scripts, and your videos fail massively. The fact that you don't have a script shows, because your content is really bad at times. And if you'd written down some notes, if you'd isolated segments of things that you wanted to react to, rather than just sitting down and reacting to the entirety of one of my videos in your reaction format, and like you deviate from points and you start speaking about your mum and you start speaking about your scale, like you could use stuff written down to help you as a guide to stay focused on your content, because you deviate so much from what you are doing that it is unreal, laughably unreal. And I've gotten a lot of laughs from it, believe me.
Self. That's how it works. That's how a professional's supposed to act. But you will find professionals on TV that don't know how to act.
A YouTuber is by no means a professional of any kind. Generally, just a guy sitting in front of a camera with a couple of lights in it. Turn these lights back on.
Some of them act worse than the
Oh, he's going on about professionalism whilst yelling racial slurs. Jesus Christ.
news that you. Yeah, like CNN when they are biased, and then you got Fox News that is just as biased.
American news networks. I don't really care if he's going to start speaking about American news networks. I'll probably just cut out sections of the video because it doesn't seem relevant, ladies and gentlemen.
You see out in the hood, some of them act worse than some of the people in one of the schools I went to that get into fights a lot. You know.
I trimmed out the segment about the news networks. I didn't have any commentary to add to it.
And I'm a
Racial slur.
myself. I mean, I'm white. I'm white, black, Cherokee, Scottish, and Irish. Both. I'm several different nationalities, and the thing about it is,
Okay. I don't really see where this is going, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about people being interviewed on YouTube here, and then he spoke about the news for a bit, and now he's speaking about his own ethnic racial background. Who knows?
when I see people do interviews, what if it's Stinson, what if it's other people on the internet, their violent tempers, as the host of the show, is no more different than some of the
Racial slur.
that I've seen out in the streets or in some of the schools I've gone to, and people from the hood, or just other people in general.
Some people that I see on YouTube are like some people that I see in the real world. Well, they're all people. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
That be fighting and doing fist fights, because the way they talk, the way they speak, it's not. You might as well not call it an interview. You might as well call it just roasting the person. Because to say that you're interviewing a person, and then all the first minute that they say something, and you literally be like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you believe in this and that and all this other shit, and you take it so personal when you're supposed to hear out everybody,
Again, it's up to the individual YouTuber and the way that they want to do their show.
It's insane.
It's not insane. It's just content.
It is fucking insane, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, anybody that doesn't agree with this can go fuck themselves. That's how I feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared was agreeing with his own points and saying that anyone that doesn't agree with him agreeing to himself can go fuck themselves. The sheer pompous, condescending arrogance here is amazing. You can literally cut it into a pompous arrogance cake. But before he dropped that bombshell on us, I was going to try and fit in somewhere that if he doesn't like these interviewers, he is of no obligation to watch them. Jared Wars, the man who claims that he avoids drama, yet whenever there is a drama channel involved in someone dramatic that Hatman has covered, you will find Jared Wars there, sniffing about like a fly on shite. Jared Wars, drama shite fly.
And it is crazy. Vice versa. We're all vice versas here in this channel. Now, I want to get into this really quick here. All this lives the fuck in me. All this lives the fuck in me, man.
Yes, it's like he's possessed with some kind of crazy demon.
Every dog has their day. You are weak with your soul. And your day is coming. For those that have been doing wrong, and for those that are taking forth.
I am damning all of my internet trolls to hell. Damn them all. I'm Jared Wars, and I'm not a Bible studies channel. I'm not a Bible reader. I don't believe in God. I'm not a Christian.
I want to read a Bible scripture in regards to this motherfucking shit here.
In regards to YouTubers interviewing people.
The scripture that describes, even as, and just because a person reads the Bible a lot doesn't mean this is a ministering channel.
Oop, there it is. He's trying to get one over on me.
I could read a book on Shakespeare a lot the same way as I do the Bible. Are you going to call it the Shakespeare channel? Fuck no.
Such a condescending, arrogant tool.
But it's something with the Bible or certain things that people decide to label or stereotype other people channels based on what they see.
I don't know any Bible stereotypes, Jared Wars. All I know is that you read the Bible all the time on your channel. And you, I'm not a Bible study, how dare you say that? And then you fucking throw your mouse out the pram. Excuse me, whilst I pick up my mouse. But yeah, no, Jared Wars, you are a Bible studies channel, because you're always reading the Bible. You're always speaking about God, the penis guy, and his son, the penis man. So, you only say that you're not a Bible studies channel, and you go off on one, because you like using that as an opportunity to have a dig at me, to call me stupid, to call me an idiot. That's not an insult, though, even though I just insulted you, even though you use those disclaimers that don't mean anything, because you just want a petty chance to have a petty dig at me. But the thing is, we've noticed this, and we've uncovered this, and we've already debunked this. So now, you just look like a tit. A condescending ass.
You have a right to that opinion, but I'm just saying I'm going to call it like it is regardless. Okay, I have to go to speech notes for this thing. And to be clear, I'm not making one person think the other way around. I'm just speaking my facts the same way as they speaking their facts. I ain't no different than him, and he ain't no different than me. Everybody and their mama I'm talking to. Because they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. There's a scripture that talks about this, but it has a thing that I will make a point of. Speech notes. All this lives the fuck in me, man. Every motherfucking thing lives the fuck in me.
It's that crazy possession moment again.
From the crown of my fucking head to the sole of goddamn mouth. And that I was just cutting up and was angry at the same time, both. Motherfucker.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to address the term cutting up. I never really thought about it before until we went into the alcoholism thoughts and the potential addiction thoughts that I had about Jared Wars. Now, years and years and years ago when I worked in nightclubs, cutting up would mean that someone would be in the toilet with a certain substance, basically going like that with it. Now, I'm wondering if Jared Wars is sitting here perhaps taking something, and that is why he's getting angry and aggressive and all this motherfucking shit lives to fucking me. You know, that would, taking a substance of some kind nasally would explain behavior like that.
Even as they did not like to attain, I was trying to type with the Google, and the Google thing is not working, so speech notes was the only thing I could use to type what I'm saying.
Jared Wars, can you shut the fuck up? Because you're interrupting some of the content that you're actually fucking good at here. You're interrupting yourself talking about the Bible. And when you talk about the Bible, that's you doing good content. That's something you're good at. That's something you're quite competent at.
Let's see here. From this motherfucking passage. Romans 1 verses 28 and 29.
Romans 1, 28 and 29. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. So is he saying that the YouTube interviewers are saying and doing bad stuff, basically?
Furthermore, since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, he gave them to a depraved mind. Verse 29 and follow me. They have a kind of wickedness. They are. I'm skipping over because I want to get to the point where I was a little out of hand. It talks about that of those motherfuckers. So,
I'm not sure I follow, ladies and gentlemen. He's mangled that. What he was reading was different from what's in my Bible. The Old and New Testaments, translated out of the original tongues and with their former translations diligently compared and revised by His Majesty's special command, appointed to be read in churches, Oxford, printed at the University Press, London, Oxford. The Most High and Mighty Prince James. So what it says in this Bible, Oxford Prince James Bible, is different from what he had. And then he skipped over bits of it. So I guess the meanings on his side are going to be a little bit mangled, and you're just going to have to refer to what I said when I read out both of the passages that he's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, Jared War's doing a reaction video, but he decides to skip over fucking important bits, and we need to reconstruct them using a Bible that's fucking different from the one that he's reading. Jesus Christ, man.
You have someone like Motley 2020 for an example.
Why is he bringing up poor Motley?
Who approves the evilness. Now when I say...
Here we go. Jared War's being fucking mental.
This, I make an example. Now, Motley 2020, I do have evidence that he approves some of the trolling that I've had experience.
We've been over this. A comment on a YouTube channel is not approving of trolling.
And some of the bullying and harassment that I've had experience, and then just like kind of one person, StooDogg.
Yeah, he said my senpai has noticed me. Senpai has noticed me. It's been a while since he said my name, hasn't it?
Thanks. And I'm going by what you said in your video review of me, exactly as I see it. You said in your video, and I quote from you, that I don't see nothing that is wrong. Well, I'm inviting you Well, I'm willingly invite you to email me, and I'm not going to send you this information of this stuff unless you're interested.
And, like we said before, went to his channel to say hi, find out about this, to find him yelling about me, and then I went into his chat and he swore at me for a bit, and then he blocked me. Bye! That is a man who is not sincere.
And all I'm going to do is just attach a bunch of files I got on my external hard drive and send them to you.
Malware packets, spyware. I'm not sure that I would trust any files that came from Jared Wars, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely make sure that you scan anything that this man sends.
You said, sir, that I was full of shit
You are full of shit, you haven't proved a damn thing.
when someone said that it could be StooDogg that took down my Stetson videos. And I took the snapshot of the person.
Ah, yes, and you showed that to try and make me go after someone else. But no, Jared Wars, I'm not going to go after your bait. Not like the way that you go after my bait, but that's a different story.
That actually said that. I even got it. I got the snapshot, and I'm going to show it. It's within a. I'm not organized. Bear with me, so it'll take a while.
You've showed it before, you amnesiac buffoon. Maybe you forgot because you were drinking a wee bit of too much of the Jim Beam and doing a wee bit of too much of the powder in your nose.
But I do got the snapshot, and I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, I had my Bible here and everything, and we were looking forward to a nice wee relaxing bit of decent Jared Wars content, but unfortunately he has decided to torpedo his content with commentary reaction shite. Well, Bible, we're back down there for another day, I suppose. The next time that we need to see what religion thinks of fucking Jared Wars.
again, I don't have nothing against this dude, but it's just that he went full crazy on me, assuming.
No, Jared Wars, you went full crazy on me, remember? When you called me a fucked up person, said all my friends were fucked up people, and said we were all involved in fucked up shit. But you don't remember, do you? Because it doesn't fit in with your narrative that you're trying to tell. Ah, someone else attacked me on the internet. You don't need to know that I attacked them first. We don't talk about that. We just talk about them doing the stuff to me. Oh my god, I'm such a victim. Oh, I'm Jared Wars and I'm a fucking idiot. A man who edits his own history like it was a video.
That I was focusing on him when really I used many people as an example, like Muttley 2020.
Another person that you're stalking and cyberbullying?
I mean, it's nothing personal. It really is nothing personal, dude. Go ahead and show this real quick. Just stop right here. Let's see. Go to Windows Capture. All right.
You know, if you planned and scripted your videos, you could have had all these screenshots ready. If you edited your videos, you could have just dropped them in. But unfortunately, you're an idiot.
Right here. This is a screenshot, and this is from the 27th of April. And it says here, now looking at the last sentence, it says, "Hey, it may be StooDogg who's flagging your video." And when I saw this, and I'm gonna zoom it in so you can be notified.
Jared Wars, creepily showing comments of people on his screen. Okay.
When I saw this, I didn't believe it. First of all, let me just say what I think of Stu before I saw his video yesterday.
Jared Wars, let me say what you thought of me based on the things that you've said in your video. You think that I'm a fucked up person who's involved in fucked up things, and you think that all of my friends are fucked up people. And you also think that I'm a copyright abuser.
For the first time, I thought of Stu as a person who is not a troublemaker. I thought of Stu as a person that would not have no character of flagging nobody's channel.
That's funny, because before, your opinion of me was that I'm a fucked up person who's involved in fucked up things. All my friends are fucked up people, and I don't think that he would be abusing copyright, but I might be wrong. That's what you said about me before I made my video. And now you're fucking lying about that, Jared Wars. Because you're a disingenuous cunt. It doesn't fit with your narrative. A narrative where you have to be the good guy. Oh, why are people picking on me? Why are people... I'm such an innocent little princess in my castle. What you didn't fit in with that narrative. So now you're deleting it from history. But, unfortunately, you're not Doctor Who and you're not actually able to do that. The only thing you're able to do is fucking lie and kinda hope by the seat of your pants that nobody catches you out in any of these lies. The thing is, you're a habitual, constant liar. And that's why you get caught out.
But you accuse me, sir, of assuming that you are one of those people that's causing trouble, which I never even looked at. I never even looked at you as that. The only thing I've said was,
Then why did you say StooDogg is a fucked up person, involved in fucked up shit, and all of his friends are fucked up people?
you know, you're a spectator, you know, a YouTuber, viewer, for the sake of your conversation or your argument, viewer, spectator is the same thing as viewer, person that watches or is standing nearby or whatever, um, comments on these videos and stuff like that. Now, I don't have nothing against you on that. I just speak my opinions and I see things as they are.
You see, I think that's the biggest fucking insult of them all, is that you're blatantly denying what you said for actually no reason. You've admitted to being fucking horrible to people before. But the thing is, you can't just face up to the truth of what you said to me. And, I mean, I'm not bothered about fucking apologies and shit, but even just going, oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I? But, you know, just an acknowledgement that you'd fucking said that. You know, it's such a fucking arrogant prick, man. I mean, he has nothing to gain with this fucking lie. The only thing that he's gaining, in fact, is hatred from people, and he's gaining a reputation as being a bit of an idiot. But, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't know. This stage, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking God told him to lie through a fucking line on the TV.
There's something you have to understand about me.
That you're a lying, condescending, arrogant, hypocritical prick.
I'm very strong-minded.
You're very weak-minded and easily led, or easily misled.
And a lot of people, when they first meet me in real life, they first get turned off. But then when they get to know me, then they always say that's how Jeremy is, you know.
That's how he is. He's just an arrogant, condescending, hypocritical prick.
And other people be trying to help them understand how I operate, you know what I mean? So, you know, like my mother, for instance, she'd be like, or my aunt, for instance, they'd be like, yeah, that's just how Jeremy thinks, you know.
Jared War's family is a lot different from fucking people that you meet on YouTube, mate. Your family fucking loves you, because they kinda have to. We all think that you're an arrogant, condescending, hypocritical prick. I mean, your mum loves you, but probably thinks you're a pain in the arse because you're fucking yelling into a microphone all hours of the night when you're making your shitty videos. I'm making a response to this video that making a response to this video by this fucked up StooDogg guy, and that's the goddamn motherfucking truth. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I do that, it hurts my throat.
You can't. You got to understand him a little better. And when they understand me, I tell you, those people they actually like me, even though we have disagreements.
Jared Wars, I don't care. You're fucking deviating like fuck. What does this have to do with the comment on the screen that you've just zoomed in on?
But it's solely based on personality differences. But yeah, look at this. The end sentence says it may be Stu. Now, I never accused Stu of anything.
Apart from being the fucked up person with fucked up friends and involved in the fucked up shit and being a copyright abuser. But apart from that, you haven't accused me of anything. You idiot. Thanks for getting to the fucking point, by the way. Finally.
And I didn't even believe what Jay said because I knew Jay was full of shit. Only thing Jay tries to do is destroy what I have on this Jared Wars thing, which this channel is nothing to nobody but myself.
You're looking into this far too much and taking it far too seriously. All Jay's doing is having a wee bit of a joke at your expense. And you're trying to turn it round like it's some big, serious fucking war. And now you're trying to sow seeds of discord between me and him to try and get me to go after him, to try and weaponize me against your trolls. The thing is, we see straight through this, Jared Wars. Such a shitty thing that you're trying to fucking do. Still, you tried to do it in your last video, and now you're trying to do it again. It is a beautiful show of how disgustingly horrible you are.
And I say to the premonition of 2017. And, you know, I have to say this because if I mention everybody, you know, whatever. And let me just clarify, when I mention people's names, I'm not dragging nobody into anything. I have to say this because...
But you really are, though. No matter how much you say that, it does not alter or change the physicality of the truth. But I think you've proven that you are a block-headed, stubborn, arrogant fool, and I don't think that what anyone else says would actually sink into your skull. I don't think you're capable of seeing things from different points of view, and you don't seem to be capable of changing your mind in any way, shape, or form, and you're not capable of seeing the wrongs that you've committed because you are a remorseless, regretless animal of a person.
And I think I've had said this before, but I'm going to have to repeat myself again.
Because you're an idiot?
This is how I do my videos. Just accept how I do my videos, and that's it.
Oh, it's fair enough saying that, but let us remember, and now I'm going to repeat myself, that the whole reason this whole situation began is because you called me a fucked up person. You said all my friends were fucked up people, and you said that we were all involved in fucked up stuff. But you have shown that you are an amnesiac buffoon, that for some reason is either ignoring this fact because it's inconvenient, or you forgot because you're drunk, or you're fucking off your tits on a wee bit of... Either way, drunk, drugged up, or hyper, your actions still have consequences, and substances do not negate that.
It is as simple as that.
Please let me get away with things, because that's the way that I make my videos. I'm Jared Wars, and my actions shouldn't have consequences.
There are many people that mention me for an example, and I accept and understand what they mean when they mention me. They're just making their points.
No, you don't. You argue, you scream, you shout, and you swear in really long videos. You throw all your toys out your pram.
They're not being personal with me. They're not dragging me into anything whatsoever. Like, if I was dragging you into something, then I would be really believing what this guy Jay was saying. Which I'm not that stupid like some of these people that watch my channel are.
Ladies and gentlemen, that condescending, arrogant prick has just called his viewers stupid. A YouTuber sins, ladies and gentlemen. But no, back to the point he was making. You're sitting there trying to weaponize me to go after your troll, mate.
And I'm reason why I'll mention him because he mentioned me more. And it's not bad, but it's just I figured, okay, it's my time, so it's time for me to see some skeletons in your closet. But it's the truth. People. Now, I was angry on this video, but I wasn't angry at nobody else. I was like angry with just stuff in general. Understand? And
this is why it's important that if you're angry or pissed off when you're making a video, have a script. If not a script, maybe a 10 bullet point guideline of how you want to do your video. Because you're gonna be a cunt. So you have to think about, what do I want to show to the world in my video? What do I want to put onto that platform that has its 3.2 billion monthly users on it? And then, if necessary, you can edit out some of the bits where you think that you're maybe going a little bit overboard.
Let me try to see some, because that wasn't even the full scripture, you stupid fuck. Says here, every envy, I think at verse 30.
Romans 1:30. Backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. But, ladies and gentlemen, he just seems to be cherry-picking bits and pieces of this. Now, I haven't actually read like the full Romans thing. I'm still way at the start. I'm on Exodus, but I don't think he's putting the Bible together in context here. He's just cherry-picking bits and pieces because he wants to use things to fucking fight other people. Like a religious holy war crusader.
And the verse 30 is what I'm looking at, so I'm skipping over.
Why are you skipping over your own video that you're fucking reacting to, you fucking idiot?
Verse 30. Like, backbiters, haters of God, disrespectful, proud, boasters. Now, one of the things that you say, which I found a compliment out of it, but I also find kind of disturbing at the same time, is this guy Stu says that I am a arrogant person.
And you have proven in your entire day's worth of content that you are an arrogant, condescending fool. You even proved it in this very video by calling your audience idiots. You have this air of superiority that is just fucking disgusting.
Now, I was called a person of low self-esteem by my mother and my late aunt. Never thought of myself as arrogant, far from it.
Probably because you don't watch your content back after you've uploaded it. You just talk shite and then upload it, and then that's it. You just think nothing of it. Not realizing that you've uploaded it to a place where 3.2 billion people can potentially see it.
But I take that as a compliment on one end, but I also take that as something of disturbance, because I'm not trying to be arrogant at all.
Don't make excuses. Take the criticism, have a think about it, and have a think about whether it is true. In which case, it is. We've seen it. There's an entire series of videos here on this channel fucking documenting it.
I'm just trying to be more like the at your face, the way it is, the spade type of thing. When I say...
I don't know. Because you're a fucking hypocritical liar. and you deny things, and you act as if things haven't happened, which may be down to fucking drugs or alcohol, I don't know, but you're not really calling a spade when you're denying things that happened, when you're lying about things, when you're possibly fucking drunk or high as a kite.
That I put out the same way as the blood a woman gets when she has a menstrual or a period, the blood.
Oh God, my soul, it's decaying.
I mean exactly as I just said. A spade's a spade. The definition of menstrual or period is when a woman has blood coming out of the vagina for a certain amount of months.
Oh, do we have to go through this, Jared Wars? Okay, a spade's a spade, but also a hypocritical, arrogant fucking prick is still a hypocritical, arrogant fucking prick. And it doesn't matter if his mum tells him that he's not, when he's presenting that image to the entire fucking planet on a platform like YouTube.
And if you don't have a period, and then if a woman has sex, they can't have a baby. But if they're under their period, then they can get pregnant easily.
Jared Wars, what the fuck are you on about, you fucking mentalist?
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Simple as you just talking shite.
Inventors of evil things. Disobedient to parents. I want to read at 31 because 31...
I really wish you'd outlined your fucking Bible verses at the start of your video so that we could fucking... Romans 1:31. Without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. 32. Who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do. So he's saying that his online troll deserves to fucking die because he's a proud boaster, an inventor of evil things, a maker of videos that Jared Voss doesn't like. He deserves death. And people who do the same thing and those that watch them also deserve death. Because, according to Jared Wars, a comment on a video is a person condoning the actions of someone else. Therefore, according to Jared Wars, I need to fucking die, as does his fucking troll. Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wars, cherry-picking bits and pieces of the Bible in the hopes that the people that you don't like online fucking die.
Talks about the point that I made. Romans chapter 1 verses 31. Now I will say this, I might have been a little rough when I mentioned names.
That's a good solid foundation for an apology. Don't fuck it up with a but statement.
But
every fucking time.
I'm going to stand to the fact that when I mentioned names, it wasn't nothing personal. I mean, I call things as I see, and that's just how I've always been.
You've always been an arrogant, condescending prick then.
And I always call things as I see. I mean, that's just how I always am. I'm not always right of those actions that I've done. Another bit of self-realization that he's about to probably fucking destroy with a but statement. But I'm definitely not kissing your ass about it. I'm just, I'm hearing you had displayed parts of my videos on your channel, as far as the new one that was dated on Sunday, the 10th, and I was interested in finding out the other stuff that you were saying, and there is some things that I seem like I came off a little bit angry.
The thing is, I don't see what you're trying to gain by watching and reacting to your own video. All you've been doing is sitting here and fucking sucking your own dick. Like, I don't get it. This isn't you taking criticism. This is you sitting in a fucking echo chamber.
And too strong in this video. And so, yeah, before I remove this video, I'm going to review it, and I am reviewing it as I speak. So, all thing I skipped was me trying to find scriptures of stuff which is irrelevant to the,
Oh, Jared Wars, I think your Bible parts of it were probably the gems and the fucking good parts of this video. All the rest of it's just shite.
This video here. Let's see here. I have to skip my motherfucking jig on the goddammer. Without understanding. And that's just me talking my shit as usual. Without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. It's talking about every motherfucking thing. Romans chapter 1 verses 32. What I find interesting is I never even really mentioned like Stu much in this video. But the reason why I'm scanning this video is to see if I mention him in a way that would explain why he came off so offensively, No,
Jared Wars, in that case you'd be looking for the video where you called me a fucked up person, you called all my friends fucked up people, and you said that we were all involved in fucked up things. But, being that for some reason that has been stricken from your fucking addled brain, I'm Jared Worth, and I'm just gonna pretend that things that I don't like about myself, that they didn't happen. Yeah. So because you're in fucking denial of that, I don't know if you'd fucking find it.
In a defensive mode, My motherfucking goddamn motherfucking ass, you goddamn.
Goddamn.
Because it's all tied up. Because if this is true, you're going to be in trouble.
If you make a reaction video on Jared Wars, you will die according to the Bible. Romans 1 chapter 32.
Lord have mercy. Who knowing the judgment of God, sometimes I just don't. I was cutting up and then I was stressful at the same time.
Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting to think that cutting up is a drug reference.
Ain't that crazy? That they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Now this is for you, Muttley 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wars wants Muttley 2020 dead because of YouTube content.
The death of going to hell, the condemnation of your soul, is not just to those that do the stuff to my channel, like Jay and others, but to those that approve of such things. Now, this is the truth.
But is it condemnation to hell, or is it just death? Because that doesn't make much sense to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look here. Romans, Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, the separated unto the gospel of God, which he promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his Son Jesus Christ our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh, and declared to be the Son of God with power, according to the Spirit of the holiness, by the resurrection from the dead, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for the name, among whom are ye also called of Jesus Christ, to all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. First I thank my God through Jesus Christ for you all, that your faith is spoken and throughout the whole world. For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers, making request that if by means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of God to come unto you, for I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gift, to the end ye may be established, that is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith both of you and me. Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I purposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto the salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath shewed it unto them. For the invisible things of him, for the creation of the world, are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his external power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonour their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against their nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do. Romans number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And I think there's something here that kinda... Romans 1:22, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That is a fucking description of Jared Wars. That's a description and a half from the fucking Bible, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's condemnation to hell, or if it's just you need to fucking die and then go back to God, because God is forgiving, and if like you go up to God and you're like, sorry mate, or you confess your sins or whatever, and you're let into the kingdom of heaven, stuff like that, you know. So I don't know if this is just you need to die to go back to God, or if it's you're condemned to hell. Ladies and gentlemen, I can prove that books exist, but I can't prove anything about God and heaven and hell. Romans looks like it's quite comprehensive, ladies and gentlemen. In glancing through this, there's quite a lot of pages in this Bible about Romans. So, like I say, that's a story for another day, and maybe not necessarily a story that comes from me, but I don't know if a reaction video to Jared Wars being a dick, I don't know if a video about a man who professes himself to be wise, but he is actually a fool, I don't know if making content reacting to such a man is grounds for people to be sent to hell. I don't know if he can use the Bible like that, ladies and gentlemen. Fascinating book.
Even if you're not part of this stuff, you're approving of this stuff by participating in something like, okay, you could be a crowd viewer of someone getting hung that's innocent by knowing that that person is innocent. What the scripture is saying here is that,
Jared Wars, you're not being hung though, are you? You're just being a bit butthurt because somebody made a video about you because you were stalking and harassing a person online. But you put this deceit about your past, you lie about things, you don't tell the full story, you don't tell people that you started it by harassing and phoning Gorgeous George. You make yourself out to be the victim all the time. That's not very godly of you, and I am pretty sure that there will be things in this Bible about people who don't admit to the guilt of their past, who don't admit to starting things.
when the Bible says the wicked is worthy of death, not only those that do the works, but those that approve, the Bible is simply saying those that were in attendance of it, not in it, but in attendance of it. So that's what I was meaning, basically. That it's not me that's saying this stuff. It's right in front of you.
No, Jared Wars, I still think you're creating a fucking narrative here. Stuff like that would apply to death, murder, genocide. Not you being butthurt because someone made a video about you onto internets.
And I'm just speaking to the people. I'm not speaking to no one specifically, but
Pacifically? Like the ocean? Like the west coast of America?
I want to find this video where Stu mentioned, and I don't even know what videos that I've done where I mentioned Stu so much. I need to email him and ask him these questions. One again.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I went to his channel to speak to him and he said fuck you, fuck off, and blocked me, I later found an email in my hacked email account. I ordered a new pair of shoes, and all of the information, of course, was still being sent to the hacked account. I sent a response to the email saying that due to the nature of the way that he addressed me in the video where he said fuck you, fuck off, and blocked me, I felt that there was no reason for any discussion between us. He got a little bit butthurt at that. Well, he said it was all my fault, of course. He said that I'm a coward and I have no balls because I don't want to talk to him, even though I went to speak to him and he said fuck off, fuck you, and blocked me. But he's forgetting that bit of his narrative because, I don't know, fucking alcohol, fucking drugs, fucking idiot. Jared was, ladies and gentlemen.
And any other motherfucker watching, because I name other names before. I didn't just name one person. I name other names before. Romans 1 verses 32. Who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them.
If you make a video about me, you need to die. If you comment on a video about me on YouTube, you need to die. Jared Wars.
What it's saying is those who have take counsel in the way. When I say take counsel, that means you're not doing the thing. You're in participation as far as either a spectator or a viewer.
Now, Jared Wars, your view on that, pointing it towards internet drama. I would view this more through the lens of September the 11th. They say that Osama bin Laden was the man who was responsible for it all. And the country of Afghanistan, which harboured him as a fugitive, was also viewed to be complicit. That's how I would view this. I would view this as someone who was plotting and scheming and doing evil tasks, and those who turned a blind eye and harboured them within their nation whilst he did so. That's how I would temper that part of the Bible. I wouldn't temper it towards you being a wee bitty butthurt because someone made a wee video about you. A video which was just you talking, saying, I went to the dollar store and I bought a sign. And when I read the sign, it said, "Bad best." That's not grounds for people to be condemned. And I think you sound crazy when you say things like that.
You're not actually doing the crime.
What crime, Jared? Was innocent until proven guilty. And you haven't proven that any crimes have been committed against you. In fact, the statements that you have made have been disproven by me in previous videos. And then you yourself have been proven to be committing crimes against other people with your slander, your libel, your stalking, your harassment, your impersonation. Therefore, you should be the one condemned. You should be the one who should be getting death, according to this, according to your Romans that you are reading from. You're the one who should be dead. And, well, I'm speaking out against it, so I'm not harboring you as a fugitive. I'm not complicit with your actions. I'm not condoning your actions. Therefore, I have every right to live. You've tried to create an argument, but you've wrapped and tangled yourself up in your own actions, and now the argument is being turned around and deflected straight back at you. Jared Wars, why do you humiliate yourself like this?
But it's just like how the justice system works. If somebody robs a bank and you're sitting in the car,
if someone makes a video I don't like, and then someone else comments on it, Jared Wars.
The justice system is going to convict your ass the same way as those people that went into that bank and robbed the tellers. That's how our justice system works. And apparently, according to the Bible, that's how God works. You get what I'm saying? That they seen pleasure and saw the fun out of it, even though they wasn't exactly involved. You motherfucking spectators, you StooDogg. Oh, Lord, I did. I mentioned StooDogg. Now, I want to say this. I'm not, even though I sound a little bit angry, which I was, and in this video, I wasn't even trying to be confrontational. I was just expressing my opinion. And I can see what Stu means, where I came a little bit too strong in this video, but it really is nothing that really would be any kind of a threat or anything harm to him.
No, Jared Wars, that more comes from the video where you called me a fucked up person, said all my friends are fucked up people, said that we were all involved in fucked up things. That's the damaging remarks that you should be focusing on. Not this fucking... whatever the fuck this video is, where you're saying that, like, people who fucking make videos about you and people who comment on those videos, those people need to fucking die. Fucking hell, man.
But I am interested in the other videos that he did play in regards to me mentioning him a lot, because there was one video he played that I don't even know what to find, where I've said his name, and I'm wondering why I kept saying his name, because I really didn't have no issues with Stu. But, you know, as I make examples of things, I use random things that have nothing to do with me, and my mom knows that. Like, she would tell me to do that a lot, you know?
Maybe you should listen to her? Maybe you should listen to what people say about not using people's names in your videos? We've been saying this for how many months now? Ladies and gentlemen, along the vein of using people's names, he does refer to someone by name here. I've removed the people that he's talking about. I've removed their names out of respect for them. Respect that fucking Jared doesn't have.
You or some, of course, you know, that was not necessary mentioning. Yeah, I was like, I did not feel good that day.
You did not feel good that day, yet you decided to record anyway.
So I can see I was in the wrong in mentioning people that really didn't do nothing. But
again with the fucking butt statements. What is wrong with you, you fucking brain donor?
I can kind of see what you mean, but at the same time, get the record straight that when I mention examples and names, I'm not dragging nobody into nothing.
You are, though, and no matter how many times you say you're not, it does not change the fucking fact. A lie cannot change the truth, you fucking idiot.
I'm not making people fight or nothing. I'm not trying to.
Jared Wars, you have twice now, once in this actual video, tried to get me to go after one of your trolls because you're showing a clip out of context of something that he said. You are trying to get people to go out there and start fucking fighting. There's a fucking drama web around you, and you're the fucking spider in the middle of it, trying to manipulate people.
And if you can't see that, I'm sorry, but but for the sake of this channel, I'm doing this video.
Oh, Jared Wars, we see right through your fucking lies now, mate.
Or whatever the fuck y'all are. But have pleasure in them that do. So y'all be damn, motherfucker. Be damn. Every motherfucking thing is the goddamn motherfucking truth.
Like I said, there's nothing in that Romans 1 that says anything about damnation. It just says death. So, I don't know. And you citing that as the truth, you don't have the right to do that, because it's a statement that we don't know based on the evidence that we have. Now, I went through the whole part of that Romans to try and work it out, and I'm not sure, but you only cherry-picked 3 different parts of it. So I think my information here is a better basis than yours, because I've went through more of it to try and analyze it. And like I say, I don't have a conclusion to make based on what I've seen. So I think you jumping to damned and damnation, that's a bit, you're talking out of your arse. And farting like thunder whilst you do so.
Well, some of it, but not all of it. I mean, I went a little bit overboard in this video. But I'm interested for Stu to email me You know, the guy StooDogg emailed me with the other videos. I'm gonna try to find them myself because you can't depend on people when you contact them in email. I know because I've had experience.
You can't depend on people in email after you've fucking insulted them, after you've spent literal hours calling them stupid, calling them idiots, after you've called them fucked up people, after you're saying they're all involved in fucked up things, and then you offer the hand of friendship? Nah. Jared Wars, if you fucking treat people like that, if you fucking treat autistic people like me like that, I'm not very forgiving. Someone treats me like something once, that's it. You know, you don't get multiple chances with me. I think you're a cunt. So, you know, I'm not really interested in talking with you anymore. Especially since you changed the name of your channel as well. And the dangers, the moral and the ethical and the legal risks of that are too great. So, no, I'm not interested in speaking to you.
10 years of experience at best to describe me. You know, and the thing about it is, I'm sending a message. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be acting big and mighty. And a lot of times when I do my videos, I don't be trying to be arrogant.
You don't try to be, but you are. I don't understand how you're not getting that, how you're watching yourself here and you're not realizing how fucking arrogant and condescending you sound. When you're saying that people that make YouTube videos and people that comment on YouTube videos deserve to fucking die.
I mean, I'm listening to myself in this video and I do sound like I'm arrogant and confident of everything, but really in reality I'm not. I talk a certain way when I record myself. I used to do this in the bathtub, exactly as you hear me speak now and me reviewing myself in this video. I used to do this when I was 11, talking when I was talking, and my mother would come off and say, well, he sounds intelligent the way he talks.
Jared Wars, you're fucking deviating again. Irrelevant shite.
And then some days she'll be like, you be thinking there's somebody in the bathroom that he is in, talking to himself for over an hour, taking a bath. That was so funny.
Yeah, Jared was hilarious. Thanks for sharing it with us. You've shared this before 1,000,000 times.
But I had never thought I would do the very things I did 20 years ago on YouTube. Holy shit. Big difference of performance from 10, 20 years ago, y'all. This is how I talk. I always try to, you know, I guess my mom always taught me to talk a certain way when you talk on the phone. That's what I kind of doing. But, you know, I never said I was bigger or bad or better than no one. I mean, I never even thought of that. But I guess the way I sound...
Yeah, you're having a massive superiority thing over YouTubers and people who comment on YouTube channels here, whereas you yourself are not realizing that you are the one who's actually been proven to be fucking breaking the law and fucking doing horrible things, and you're the one who deserves death. It's not other people that deserve death, Jared was. It's you that deserves death. That's according to the Bible, not me. I don't want him to fucking die. We need people like him to fucking laugh at and ridicule and make videos about. I don't want Jared Wars to die. That's my disclaimer. And no, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say but after it. I'm not going to turn it round and say that I do want him to die. I actually mean that. I wish no physical harm upon this man. I want him to live a long life and see how much of a fucking idiot he is. I want him to see that. That's what I want, ladies and gentlemen.
Gave the implications that I sounded like I'm better than anybody and all this stuff. But I really, in reality, I don't even think that way. If you actually take the time and actually ask me the questions of this stuff, I will give you the honest answers. And you would ask me, well, why do you talk like this? Because
If you take the time and come to speak to me, I'll tell you to fuck off. I'll say fuck you and then I'll block you. Bye!
I don't know. It's just something about recording yourself or talking to yourself that you can get into your own imagination of things, and you can see things as you see it in an unbiased way or a biased way or whichever, and you could speak the way you're speaking in a sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared was overcomplicating video making.
But you know, if you and I were to, or anybody else, for an example, if you and I that's watching that were to be in person, I wouldn't be talking the way I'm talking on here. It's just like, you know, when I talk the way I talk, I'm in my comfort zone of my brain.
If you actually faced me in a form of voice chat, you would fucking shrink and fucking fall back and probably start lying and crying and denying. That's you in a nutshell, Jared Wars. Like you did when I put a YouTube comment to you where I challenged you about all the things you were saying. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
My mental capacity, and I'm going to tell you, it's therapeutic to me, you know, somewhat. Not all the time, but sometimes it is.
Video making is therapeutic. I can see that, ladies and gentlemen. I've found creating and editing the recent Jared Wars series of videos where the episodes are lasting up to 6 hours at a time, I've found them quite relaxing and therapeutic to make. But at the same time, you need to think about and temper the things that you're putting into your videos using editing. Or your therapy can be destroyed afterwards by the reactions of people who might not like the things that you have to say.
But I always try to reach out to my fellow human being the following things that could be possible. So, you know what? The way this video sounded, I came off a little strong. And, you know, but again, I'll admit that I came off strong, and I apologize to those that got offended over this video. There were some points that I made that were good, but then just the way I presented them, or just maybe some things in general, might have been wrong. So I will admit that I always come off strong sometimes.
Yeah, Jared was saying that people that make YouTube videos about you and people that watch YouTube videos about you, saying that they should all die, is maybe just a wee bit strong. That's maybe just the hot sauce.
I'm gonna get going. It's been whatever the hell it is. See y'all later.
The end, ladies and gentlemen. That was that was an interesting one. An interesting look into Jared Wars' mind and how he views the way that he's being treated and how he views what it says in the Bible, that he feels that the way that he's being treated is akin to extreme biblical murder against him. He feels that he's being attacked in the same way as America was attacked on September the 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, that's yeah, wow. But anyway, I guess we should finish up because we've been here for a while. I will admit that this video is actually a lot longer than I planned, but that's fine. So if you're still here, feel free to comment the secret code down below, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.